San Francisco, it's becoming worse and worse. And it's not just San Francisco, guys. I know put a lot of blame on the city, but it's basically a lot of cities in California. Now, San Diego was kind of like the last holdout place. It was like one of the cities that wasn't being ran by a lot of the drugs, crime, and homelessness. But now I heard that San Diego, the downtown portion, is getting worse and worse by the day. It's no longer that one last spot in California where everything is just okay. But right now, if you look at this abandoned stores and streets taken over by homeless and drug addicted individuals, theft is so crazy that candy is locked away. Not a big surprise because CVS and Walgreens are barely making any money in San Francisco. Like the fact that if you go to a CVS in San Francisco and you see like everyday household goods being locked up like their iPad Pros shows you that this city probably isn't the best place for tourism or the best place to live and work. Now, tourism is down 16%. Guys, it's way more than 16%. If it's only down by 16%, they're not going to be seeing so many empty stores, which I'll show you on Reddit. It's actually really, really freaky. And in the place of lost tourism and empty stores is 7,000 homeless individuals, which is most likely going to double to 14,000 because of the amount coming from Oakland. It is crazy. I'm not sure how the city is functioning. In fact, they spend so much money every year combating this to the point that they are now going bankrupt because so many companies are moving out and can't fund their really crazy, extravagant budgets. And the city is now going to be owed a few $1 billion in the next couple of years because businesses are leaving. I don't know how they're spending hundreds of millions of dollars every year doing this, and they still have crazy high homeless populations and stuff. It just feels like the city just doesn't do anything. I mean, I feel like if the city gets $100 billion, San Francisco will probably look exactly the same way. Now look at this video on Reddit. This is by Unusual Whales. It's very interesting because this is literally one of the hot tourism places in downtown San Francisco. And look at the amount of places for rent and for lease. I mean, we saw a Walgreens being open, but that was it. All these stores are empty. The corner stores, which are actually really popular, is empty as well. And remember, these rents are also being cut by 33 to 35%. Now you see all these stores being empty. You do see like the occasional store. You do see the UGG store. Starbucks is apparently still open, but you do see what I'm talking about, right? Like every 3 to 4 retail centers, every single block, you always have like only one store open. That was it. Okay. Pre-pandemic, this was prime real estate, and everyone was actually having bidding wars over these. But that's really about it. I mean, even if you're a tourist and you want to go to San Francisco for like shopping, like you can't even shop because the stores are literally closed. So this is actually the first-hand experience of San Francisco. Like I said before, when you don't have stores open, when nothing's cool is around, people won't go to the city. And when people don't go to the city, it's a chain reaction, right? More stores are closed and stuff like that. And even the biggest mall in San Francisco has now been closed as well. Now, one of the biggest things about the homeless population is it's rising. If you guys think 7,000 is bad in San Francisco, wait to see what people are saying about 14,000. Now, the Bay Area's homeless population is growing every single day, okay? And some people are even saying that the city is incentivizing a lot of these different things. The city isn't doing anything, and there's a lot of handouts as well. I mean, I have no clue how they ran this to the ground. I mean, San Francisco was basically one of the wealthiest places on planet Earth. If you get the Bay Area and you make that into a country of itself, it will actually be a global power. It will actually have a huge military and all that kind of stuff because of all the big companies here, right? Now, keep in mind that Silicon Valley, like Palo Alto, Mountain View, those places are still pretty good in the Bay Area. Like those places are still kind of like the untouched areas. I guess that's kind of like where Stanford and Apple, Microsoft is. But go to Oakland, go to even like Fremont, San Jose, especially San Francisco, it gets really, really bad. And you already saw all these empty stores, right? These empty stores show you of an economy that's absolutely busted. And remember, a lot of cities in California are actually sending homeless people to Oakland and just making it pretty much San Francisco's problem. And when homeless people go to Oakland, where do they go next? They go to San Francisco. Okay, it's just a bridge away. And Oakland mayor is saying that homelessness from other cities coming to San Francisco needs to be charged. Now, first of all, this shouldn't be like the first thought. Be like, oh, a bunch of homeless people are coming in. Let's make some money off it by charging other cities. And two, she didn't implement it. And Three, a bunch of homeless people is in Oakland, but there's not really any services to accommodate that. Like the city, I'm not joking, makes a lot of money. And I don't know how they're in a budget deficit right now. Like every single time when somebody new is being elected into like the Bay Area, San Francisco, whatever it is, a lot of residents say that nothing really changes. Now, remember, I like San Francisco. I like it a lot. Okay. I think it's a fantastic city. If you guys went there pre-pandemic, it was by far one of the most fun I've ever had. And the weather was great. There was like nice, cool looking fog. It was very cultured. A lot of cool restaurants. A lot of family mom and pop stores as well. But not anymore. Right now, it is just complete garbage. It's not great. And even a lot of those mom and pop stores I was talking about, you see in the video, they're moving out. Okay. Big chain retailers are moving out. Nordstrom is going on. Okay, Old Navy is gone. AT&T is going on. Okay, I'm pretty sure even Boost Mobile is trying to get the hell out. And every single store, they're leaving. Westview Mall in the middle of downtown San Francisco, this massive mall of luxury stores, they're leaving. Cinemark, they're leaving. I mean, everything's leaving. And empty office space on top of these is like 40% vacant. In fact, you could probably get one of these massive buildings for 75% off if you want to. That was actually what happened in the latest transaction. Look at this. We're also getting a lot of drugs as well. California seizes enough fentanyl in San Francisco to kill nearly 3 times the city's population. Also seems like the drug situation in San Francisco is out of control. One of the biggest complaints from a lot of residents I've been seeing is the government isn't tough on anything. They're so lenient to the point that even like robberies of several $100s are usually just pardoned like day one. So nobody really serves any jail time. Also, they keep saying building public housing to house the homeless, but they never do it either. I mean, there's a lot of land in the Bay Area. Like, I get it. If you build public housing right next to a luxury condo, it lowers that value. I get it. But I feel like there's so much empty space in the Bay Area. Like, most of it is actually just mountains and stuff. Okay, I'm not saying build on the mountains, but you get the idea. There's a lot of empty space. Okay, there's adequate money. There's good locations to build public housing, where it is also very close to public transportation. But of course, the city doesn't really do anything, so I have no clue what they're doing with all this money, because it sure is a lot of money coming in every single year from all those tech companies and that crazy high, income tax. Now, surprise, surprise, because May was the worst month on record for fentanyl deaths in San Francisco, despite crackdown. Dude, I don't know how like the city is functioning. Like the Tenderloin district is pretty much an open air drug market, but it's actually one of the best real estate locations in all of San Francisco. It's in a very, very nice location, smack in the middle, and it's very, very close to other parts of the city. And it's very close to downtown and the sea. So this is actually a really good place. But it's basically a homeless encampment. And the city doesn't do anything. It's actually insane to see this kind of stuff. And San Francisco residents are saying that the city isn't doing anything. I mean, they are tired of this. Some residents, they don't care anymore. They're just moving out, which is why you're seeing like 100,000 people moving out of the Bay Area at this point. A lot of these residents actually were forced to self-fund $25,000 to buy a bunch of street planters to put it on the sidewalk so they wouldn't be homeless encampments, okay? And by the way, people spend a lot of money on a lot of these condos and stuff like that. They spend a lot of money on real estate and businesses, and those businesses are not doing well and they're going out of business, and real estate properties are going down in value if there's a bunch of homeless encampments outside. And it's very hard to do business as well. City doesn't care, so now the citizens are taking it up to their own hands. I mean, when something like this happens, when you have to team up and buy street planters to solve a situation, you might as well just take some of the money and just move out at that point. I mean, this city is basically dead at this point. Even Fisherman Wharf, this heavy tourism area, there's still people, don't get me wrong, but there's very, very little amounts of people. Okay? Yeah, San Francisco has a bunch of multimillionaires and also the uber rich and billionaires, but I guarantee you they only have their address registered there and they're probably living in somewhere in Portugal. That's what I'm saying. So get ready, guys. More stuff to come. I feel like this whole entire San Francisco situation isn't over just yet. And we're kind of seeing like a massive Detroit 2.0. And by the way, these closures are insane.